So today I'll be talking about Simatic S7 400 PLC panel. In this panel, we have our different modules connected in slots. The first slot is the power supply module. The job of this is to convert 230 volts AC and to 24 volt DC. And this 24 volt DC I use to power every other modules in this panel. The next module is the CPU. The CPU evaluates input, then it processes the logic in the program and energizes the output. The next modules you see here are the CPs. The CP stands for the communication processor, and the job of this communication processor is to provide extra ports for the CPU to communicate with various field devices and MCC. If you can see here, two of the communication processors are very similar with yellow cables, and the other 6 are also alike with purple-like cable. The next module you see here is the IM, which stands for the interface module. The interface module interfaces between the field devices and the CPU. It connects field devices together and collects the signal through one cable, the Profibus cable, and transmits it to the CPU. Here you can see 2 interface modules. They are connected together, and a single cable transmits the signal to the CPU. Then the next modules you will see are my I/O cards. My I/O cards, which are my digital input cards, my digital output card, my analog input, and my analog output card. Then the next module you will see here is my Profibus OLM. OLM stands for Optical Link Module. Now, if you know, some devices are kilometers away from this PLC panel. So these devices, their signal needs to be transmitted to the CPU. So from the panel, the remote panel where they are connected, their signals are converted, are taken through the IM, the interface module, converted to this via the use of the OLM to light signal of the fiber optic cable. Then they are transmitted over long distance, and they are brought to this OLM, where they are converted back to my Profibus network and transmitted to one of these communication processor. Then the next one you will see here is my scalance industrial switch. Now this one works just like the OLM. Now for this one, it converts the light signal coming from the field devices to my Ethernet network. Now what does this one do? It takes all the signal coming from the CPU, it takes it to this Ethernet switch, convert the signal to light signal, and transmit it to this final module, which is the fiber terminal box. The fiber terminal box collects all the signal coming from the CPU and transmits it to the DCS or the control room. If you know, this PLC panel is just a single component of the DCS panel. So every signal coming from the CPU is converted from this communication processor via the fiber optic cable and transmitted to this fiber terminal box, which is now taken to the CCR. Thank you.